or across the country to California.
Yeah, well, something. I don't have to go in Texas and parts of the Midwest. There are floods.
Well, that's because they don't have enough dams or ways to control the water. We certainly have enough water in this country, but it either flows into the ocean or it floods farms.
But there ain't no water in Southern California.
Yeah, that's true. It keeps coming close. We get these hurricanes coming from off the coast of Mexico, but somehow they don't go to California. Either they head out to the Pacific or they go inward towards Las Vegas and so forth, and they're getting floods.
Do you think God doesn't like us?
It seems that way.
I think God's a New Yorker.
Anyway, let's do the official intro. This is Stan Weisleder on The View from Over Here, and I have Malcolm Barry Burman in the studio with me, and I'm off on vacation.
You ain't in the studio.
No, you're in the studio.
That's correct. Me and Paul.
I'm on vacation having fun. Anyway, we're broadcast on crntalk.com over where, Malcolm? The entire planet and beyond?
The entire planet and beyond and interspace. And as a matter of fact, I think the people up in satellites are listening to the show.
Yeah, as long as we don't bore them with too many of those commercials, they'll keep us tuned in.
No, but the problem is I think we have to have it translated in Russian. And now I believe the Chinese are coming. No, I think they're going to land on the moon, I heard.
Malcolm, I don't know. But am I ready to go to the moon? I don't think so.
Well, you're in Miami or you're in Florida. That's close to the moon.
I'll stay here on Earth for now, anyway. All right, look, we had some news to cover today. First thing I want to cover is the amount or the number of defections that we have in the United States. That is, people giving up their citizenship for what reason? Are they going to join ISIS? Is that a reason? I don't think so. Last year, in 2013, we had 2,999 people who gave up their citizenship. Now, U.S. citizenship is supposed to be something valuable. Why did these people give it up? Well, what I gather, it was mostly because either they felt they were paying too much in taxes or they don't want to pay anything in taxes. So they said, I quit, I'm going to another country, and I am not paying you a red cent. Now, this year, through the third quarter of 2014, we have 2,353 people who gave up their citizenship. So that's well in position to cross the 3,000 mark.
Yeah.
Again, because of taxes or, they just don't want to pay taxes.
Yeah, actually, there's just an article that I just got over my telephone, and it said in the wake of asset disclosure rules under it's called the Foreign Account Tax Compliance Act, or FATCA. 73% of respondents answered that they have actively considered giving up their citizenship of those expatriates living abroad.
Well, they have to find a country where they like it, where they speak the language, where there's no extradition, I guess, but you don't get extradition for non-payment of taxes. You'd have to commit something more heinous than that.
Well, it has to be a fraud.
Well, I don't know. Even fraud. Do they extradite people for tax fraud?
I think so.
I think it depends on where you go.
Well, I would check the laws of Monaco. That's nice. Along the French Riviera would be a perfect place to
Monaco
abscond.
You to gamble it away.
Yeah. Well, if you have enough, it's not that bad.
Hey, would you like to know last week?
Would I like to what?
Would you like to know what I did last week?
Not really, but tell me anyway.
Thank you. You're such encouragement. Well, last week we were in New York. And why was I there? Well, we had to do some interviews and to line up some more interviews for when we got to Florida. And Mal, I have to tell you, I must say this. Staying in New York is truly an experience. A lot of people say that Las Vegas is the city that never sleeps. Well, I think it's New York that never goes to sleep. And even when you do go to sleep, there are the ending sounds of the night that you can hear how high up your apartment is. And I'm talking about the constant sirens of ambulances, police cars, honking of frustrated motorists. And if that's enough, there is the constant clanging of delivery trucks and buses as they traverse over the steel plates that cover up the gigantic potholes that seem to be strewn all over the city.
It sounds like parts of L.A.
But after a while, the background noise becomes subliminal, and then you can fall asleep.
But I'll tell you, like, I've been in the radio business for L.A. the last 25 years, and there's several. I did a show out of West Hollywood that was on Saturday and Sunday night, and I would leave Sherman Oaks at about 11 o'clock at night, and it was completely dead. I would go over to West Hollywood, and the place was jumping. There were people waiting on lines. There was bumper-to-bumper traffic.
Hey, you got that in New York, I'm telling you.
Yeah, and the
All
same
right.
thing when I was a manager of a station called Mars FM. This was in the mid-'90s, and we did techno music. And there were clubs in the downtown area that didn't start till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Same thing here, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Anyway, let me go on to what else I did.
Okay, tell
we
me what.
interviewed a friend of ours, Joe Franklin. He's the dean of all radio and TV interviewers. He's been doing it for 70 years. And I'll be bringing that tape back with me, and hopefully we will air him in a couple of weeks.
Well, hopefully you successfully recorded him.
As long as I press the right button. Hey, Malcolm, I also went to a party. Marilyn and I, we got invited to go to this party in Lower Manhattan on a yacht.
And you didn't invite me?
Well, you were in L.A. How could I invite you? Unless you
Well, you could. I would have flown over for that one.
Well, we don't have the budget to cover that.
Anyway, but I think Mike Horn has his own private jet. Is that true, Paul? Yeah, I just got the confirmation.
Okay, well,
we had we can use the CRN corporate jet.
Next time we will. I'll let you know. Anyway, this party was being filmed by Bravo TV. And guess what? We both had to sign releases before they would let me and Marilyn get on board.
Yeah,
had her sign releases.
Well, that's commonplace. Anytime that they're filming, whether it be a film or TV, you have to sign a release for them to show your image.
Yeah, but we didn't have to wait online because of our CRN press passes.
Definitely, yeah.
But I got to tell you about this party, okay? Aside from the endless booze and hors d'oeuvres.
You say booze or boobs?
Booze. Well, I'm getting to the other thing.
Okay.
There was also entertainment continuous, as well as posturing by all of the guests there to see or either to be seen. There were a few naked young ladies prancing about whose bodies were adorned with all kinds of artwork.
Did you get any pictures?
There were tons of cameramen there. No, I didn't take a camera with me.
You didn't have to take a camera. You have your cell phone.
I didn't bother with that.
You could do video. Well, that's because you took Marilyn with you.
I was an observer, not a participant. Mm-hmm. And there were also dancers and strippers. And you know what? Towards the end of the party, there were two wannabe divas that were being interviewed on camera. And lo and behold, an argument ensued where, what is that beeping? Is that you?
No.
Anyway, somebody wants to cut in. These two gals were being interviewed on camera, and an argument started, and one of them threw a glass of wine at the other, and then the other one responded by breaking her glass of wine over the head of the other one, all on camera. Did I want to interview either of those two? Not really. And within minutes, about 24 of New York's finest showed up, and then we decided it was time to split. So much for our New York party. Anyway,
you should have gotten shots of that. I'm sorry. I might have to take your news credentials back.
Well, you'll have to call up Bravo TV and get it from them. It's all on TV.
Actually, they probably
sound and everything.
I'm surprised it wasn't on YouTube.
Well, maybe it will be good. You know, it was a sight to see.
Or TMZ.
Well, anyway, we have a guest coming on board soon. Are we at our break now, or should we start in with him now?
Yeah, well, you could. Don't introduce him yet because Paul is just calling him now. But
Paul is calling him?
Yeah, but tell me who he is.
His name is Richard Sills, and he's an author. He's written a few books, and he's also an educator. He's a scientist. He's a humorist, and he is well known for having used children as an experiment, of course, using children as teachers. And he's also the founder of Walter Annenberg Presidential something or other at the Reagan Presidential something or other library.
Something or other.
Something or other. Yeah, that's his official title.
Well, I like we're a show that informs or something or other.
Something or other. Yeah.
Interesting. Like today, I just read an article in the LA Times about teachers using children to do. It's a learning experience to do films of videos, and they're producing their own show.
Well, that's an offshoot of what Richard Sills started years ago.
Right, that's what it sounds like. That so it should be very interesting. He'll be on in a few minutes. We'll have Richard right after the break. So what else is new? What do you have planned for this week?
Well, for this week, I'm going to see some friends, try to line up a few more interviews. Write up next week's program and get ready. Oh, I got to tell you, next week we're going to a party at the Friars Club Monday night. We're going from South Florida back to New York, and we're going to attend a send-off for Sid Caesar, you know, the comedian who died early this year. When he first passed away, I covered his funeral and did a write-up that was posted. Mm-hmm. I said that was the best funeral that I ever went to.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Now we're doing his send-off.
This is the best send-off you've ever gone to.
Well, this one there will be over a dozen comics in attendance.
That's the only way to send off a comic is by telling jokes. He would probably love it.
Yeah, I just wonder, will it be an X-rated eulogy? I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you, take a tape of it, and we'll find out. Anyway, hold on for a minute, because we're coming up to a break. You're listening to CRN. You're not listening. You're listening to The View from Over Here on CRNTalk.com, and we'll be right back with our special guest, Richard Sills, author and entrepreneur, and anything else you could think of. Anyway, Stan, hold on. Richard, if you're there, hold on. We'll be right back.
The next time you're in Southern California, visit the Riviera Restaurant in Calabasas. Riviera, as the name implies, is the ultimate in Calabasas restaurants. There's not even a close second. And what's better suited for the Beverly Hills of the Valley than a Beverly Hills type of restaurant and watering hole without those ridiculous Beverly Hills prices? They're so good. With impeccable service, they probably don't even need this commercial. Even now, it's hard to get a good table except for off hours. But if you really want to treat yourself or your date, call 818-224-2163. That's 818-224-2163. That's the Riviera Restaurant in Calabasas, California.
Do you have unfiled tax returns or owe the IRS or state more than $10,000? If you don't take action now, your tax problem is going to get worse. Much worse. Seizure of property, bank levies, wage garnishments, and potential criminal prosecution. And if you owe the IRS back payroll taxes, chances are you will be visited at your home or business by an IRS agent. Don't become paralyzed by fear. Take action now. Call the experts at U.S. Tax Shield for help. Our team of experienced tax attorneys can get you protected, stop collections, and negotiate a permanent settlement with the IRS and state, potentially saving you thousands of dollars. At U.S. Tax Shield, our tax advisors will review your case for free, inform you of your rights, and give you a guaranteed quote. No games and no tricky upsells. That's why we have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and thousands of satisfied clients. Put an end to your torment. Get protected. Get the Shield. Call U.S. Tax Shield now at 800-211-8753. That's 800-211-8753. 800-211-8753.
There's no better way to say I love you. I'm thankful you're in my life. I'm glad to be with you. I'm thinking about you or I miss you, than with a spectacular flower arrangement from ProFlowers.com. A gorgeous fresh flower arrangement is a must to dress up every birthday, holiday, or anniversary. As a special treat for you, your beautiful flowers start at an amazing low price of $19.99. And ProFlowers.com will include a free vase with floral orders. Imagine a beautiful bouquet of 100 blooms for only $19.99, with a free vase included. Every festive bouquet is guaranteed to last at least 7 days. Tell your loved ones you're thinking of them with flowers. Go to proflowers.com/radio and enter your code to receive this special offer. Enter code DAISY. That's proflowers.com/radio, code DAISY. Send a bouquet they'll never forget from proflowers.com/radio, code DAISY.
Hi, this is Greg Hunter, the host who loves you the most on CRN Digital Talk. My show Nightside has famous guests, reviews of current attractions, films, plays, dining rooms, all the good things in life. That's at 9 on Sunday evenings. Once again, 9 o'clock Pacific Coast time, Sunday.
Hey, Stan, you still with us, or are you snoozing at the pool?
I'm back. I never left.
I thought you were snoozing at the pool.
Well, I will be after the program is done. All right, do we have our guest ready on board?
We have our guest as soon as you introduce him.
Okay, his name is Richard Sills. He's an author, all right? And he wrote 3 books that I'm aware of, The Tale of Dottie, Lanathros, and Antivion.
Richard, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Good. Well, let's go on, Malcolm. We have more to say about our guest.
Oh, okay. Continue. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, well, don't let it happen again.
Yes, sir.
He is an educator. He is a scientist and humorist. And he is well known for the experimental use of children as teachers. He is also the founder of the Walter and Lenore Annenberg Presidential Learning Center at the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library and Museum in Simi Valley, California. Richard, we're glad to have you on board. We're proud to have you on board. Say hello to our listeners.
Hello out there.
Yeah, Richard, what do you do in your spare time?
I work out. I work out about 3-4 times a week.
Well, actually, which is funny you should mention that. We have a picture up on the screen. I don't know if you can see that, but it's you swimming.
Yeah, he was swimming with a dolphin, but Pam cropped out the dolphin. She thought it would be too,
Well, we couldn't get a release form from the dolphin. Yeah,
that's what. Anyway, we didn't want to get sued. Fish rights, animal rights, and all that sort of thing. Anyway. So, Richard, can you tell us briefly? Well, first, let's tell your audience, tell the listeners, what is your website? How can they get copies of your book? Where can they get copies?
Well, my website is www.lovegod.ws. And you can get my books on Amazon.com or BarnesandNoble.com.
Well, Richard, where are you from originally? Not Florida, I trust.
No, originally from New York City.
Where?
Manhattan.
Where?
Park Avenue in Upper Manhattan.
Oh, okay. Now, we're two New York City guys. Both of us from Brooklyn, but I lived in Manhattan for most of my adult life. On the opposite side, on the Upper West Side.
Well, Richard came from the posh side. You came from the poor side, right, Malcolm?
I wish I could afford that poor side now.
Richard, tell us about the books.
Well, Lanathros is a science fiction book about beings on other planets and thinking computers, and it treats mankind as a speck in the cosmos of the universe. And,
what planet do they come from?
Lanathros?
Well, what universe is it? Certainly not our universe.
Lanethros is a new universe. It's in the beginning of the book. It portrays Antivian, which is the universe that we're existing in, and it creates a new universe that I call Lanethros.
How far is it? More than a hop, skip, and jump, I suppose.
Excuse me?
How far away is it? How many light years?
Well, it's another dimension, so it's
Okay.
kind of if you're acquainted with the concept of a multiverse, we're supposed to be living in a multiverse, which is parallel universes that are in existence. And this is a parallel universe to the planet Earth. It's a more advanced universe.
But do you realize even in that planet, that universe, they can hear the internet? And our show is being broadcast live there now. So, that's just an extension of your book and your concept.
And Richard, what language do they speak on that planet?
Well, they speak a different language than ours, but I translated it into English.
Yeah, well, a lot of these science fiction things, they have people, have the international translator, so they can speak in their native tongue, and it's instantly translated to the language that you speak.
Or they communicate with us telepathically.
They can communicate telepathically, and they have all sorts of advanced communication systems for entertainment.
Malcolm, do I hear that music starting again?
Yeah, you hear the music. Okay, Stan. Hold on. Richard, hold on. We'll be right back. You're listening to The View from Over Here, heard on crntalk.com. If you have any questions, you can email us at stanviewfromoverhere.com or malcolmviewfromoverhere.com. And hold on, and we'll be right back with Richard Sills, and we'll find out about other worlds.
The event you've been waiting for is here. Lumber Liquidators' third annual fall flooring yard sale. It's your chance to get first quality, full warranty, direct from the mill flooring at unbelievable closeout prices. Like oak laminate for an incredible 19 cents a square foot and pre-finished 3/4-inch solid maple for just $149. Plus beautiful bamboo for 63% less than other stores. Take advantage of our 20 years of savings with 20-month special financing and get even more unheard of flooring deals in our stores. Fall flooring yard sale is Thursday through Monday only. Visit lumberliquidators.com to find a store near you.
Someday there'll be a cure. Someday we won't lose the people we love. But when is someday? Someday is today. Thanks to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, hundreds of thousands diagnosed with blood cancer are today living a normal life. We're making cures happen. Join us. Call 888-HELP-LLS. Go to LLS.org. Help us reach today sooner.
Is your pantry dark?
The enemies of spices are light, heat, humidity, and the air.
Spice experts Ethne and Philippe de Vienne.
Keep it on a room temperature shelf where there's no heat variation. Your spices will keep for a long time, provided they're not pre-ground.
The ideal way to grind spices, let's face it, it's a mortar and a pestle. You get to smell what you're doing, and your nose is your ultimate source of inspiration.
Whole spices can last 5 years. Some changed history traveling around the globe.
The spice that we all know is allspice. It's one spice, but, legend has it that the Dutch managed to convince people that it was 4 different spices that they cobbled together to create this one spice. If people had only known that all they had to do was go to Jamaica and get allspice, the Dutch wouldn't have had the monopoly over this thing for the number of years that they did.
For more spice advice and recipes, visit spicetrekkers.com. That's Primetime Focus, brought to you by AARP. I'm Aileen Ellis.
Do you have unfiled tax returns or owe the IRS or state more than $10,000? If you don't take action now, your tax problem is going to get worse, much worse. Seizure of property, bank levies, wage garnishments, and potential criminal prosecution. And if you owe the IRS back payroll taxes, chances are you will be visited at your home or business by an IRS agent. Don't become paralyzed by fear. Take action now. Call the experts at U.S. Tax Shield for help. Our team of experienced tax attorneys can get you protected, stop collections, and negotiate a permanent settlement with the IRS and state, potentially saving you thousands of dollars. At U.S. Tax Shield, our tax advisors will review your case for free, inform you of your rights, and give you a guaranteed quote. No games and no tricky upsells. That's why we have an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau and thousands of satisfied clients. Put an end to your torment. Get protected. Get the Shield. Call U.S. Tax Shield now at 800-211-8753. That's 800-211-8753. 800-211-8753.
If you want to get ahead financially, you've got to do anything you can to save money. But if you're hit with an unexpected car repair bill, you could be facing thousands in expenses. Not anymore. If you own a car, truck, or SUV with less than 150,000 miles, you could stop paying for repairs ever again. I repeat, you may not even pay a penny to have your car repaired ever. Call now to see if you qualify. 1-800-976-7960. You must have a car, truck, or SUV with less than 150,000 miles, and all repair bills can cost you nothing. Not even 1 penny. Call now to get your car protected before you're hit with another repair bill. Transmissions cost $2,500. Simple onboard computers, $1,800. But for you, they can cost nothing. Call now to get your car protected. The first 50 callers get free roadside assistance with their total protection. Call now, 1-800-976-7960. That's 1-800-976-7960. 1-800-976-7960.
Okay,
Is
Stan.
it that time?
It's
okay.
that time. Where
We're
are
back.
we, and what are we listening to?
Well, this is Stan Weisleder on The View from Over Here, together with Malcolm Burman, our producer, and our special guest right now, Richard Sills. He is an author. And, Richard, what would you like to say to our listeners regarding your books?
Well, you can purchase my book at Amazon.com or at BarnesandNoble.com. And I have 3 books. One is Lenethros, and then there's a sequel to Lenethros, which is Antivian, which is about our universe. But Lenethros takes place mostly in Lenethros, which is an alternate universe. And it's the sequel, and in the sequel, we actually meet God.
Is there a God?
Well, in Lenethros, there is a physical God that is present and communicates with the beings in Lenethros.
Well, my big question is that same God in all the dimensions?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. That's an interesting concept. I've always wondered that.
Well, it's a parallel universe to our own in which God does exist.
How many parallel universes are there? Is there only one?
Infinite number of parallel
An infinite, and it's the same God in all the universes.
In Lenethros, you travel interdimensionally from one universe to another.
Do you think it's possible to do that?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Well, has Hollywood called you on any of these stories yet?
Excuse me?
Has Hollywood knocked on your door yet for any of these stories?
I can't hear you.
I don't know. Has Hollywood asked you to do any screenplays on your books?
Not yet, but who knows?
Do you have a treatment on
Never
it?
tell.
And what are your other books?
My other book is The Tale of Dottie, which is a children's book. It's about a doll who dreams of becoming a little girl.
Ah.
Oh, that's cute.
It sounds a little like the Pinocchio.
Yeah.
It's like Pinocchio or The Velveteen Rabbit.
Uh-huh. And
a funny doll.
Which one came first?
Actually, Lenethros came first.
Yes. And then you had a third one, I believe.
The third one was The Tale of Dottie.
The Tale of Dottie, and that's about?
The second one is Antivian.
Excuse me?
The second one is Antivian, correct?
The second one is Antivian. That's the sequel to Lenethros.
Yeah, by the way, folks, it's very difficult. We have, a 3-way conversation on 3 different telephone lines. So pardon us, we might be speaking over each other. But it's hard to navigate this, but that's the best we could do right now.
I hear you perfectly.
You hear me perfectly. But Richard, do you hear us perfectly? Richard, can you hear us perfectly?
Yes, I can hear you, but you have to talk a little louder.
Oh, okay.
And I'm a lot closer to Richard than you are.
Yeah, well, why didn't you bring him into the studio?
Well, because you couldn't get me local studio time, that's why.
Well, why couldn't you travel to him? What type of radio person are you?
Well, I guess not a good one. Well, we have to. Well, our next guest lives in a different part of Florida, so it was impossible to go from one to the other in a matter of during the time of the commercial.
You couldn't send the limo for him? I don't understand that, Stan.
No, I couldn't.
Anyway, Richard, my first a question that I have for someone who writes like the science fiction, like you do, is what type of hallucinogenic do you use when you're writing? Now, it always fascinates me with authors like you who have this far out imagination. I admire it.
Okay, Malcolm, don't we have that break coming up soon? I don't want to cut off Richard in the middle of a sentence.
No, I don't think so. You don't hear any music. How long do we have for this segment, Paul? Another 10 minutes. So we're not going to, we don't have a break.
All right, then we're going to have to get over to our next guest and have Richard come back in a couple of weeks.
Hey, Richard, do you ever get into the California area?
Yeah, I fly out. I'm going on the 19th to California. And I go up to the Reagan Library, and I think Mike Huckabee is giving a lecture at the Reagan Library at that point.
Oh, could you do us a favor? Right. You have Stan's number and our contact number. Give us a call because we'd love to have you. We're
in person in the studio.
We're in beautiful downtown Sunland, which is actually not too far from Simi Valley.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's just, I think, about 20 minutes on the freeway. So we'd love to have you here in the studio in person, and bring some of your books so you can autograph it, and maybe we can give it over. We can give it out over the air.
Okay.
To our listeners. Well, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
And again, give us a buzz when you're in town, and we'll reschedule something for in the studio.
Yeah, don't forget, we want you in the studio live.
Live. Okay, Richard. Okay, Stan, now, okay, Paul is calling. Now, who is our other next guest? Stan, are you there? Stan, are you there?
Okay, I am here. Don't you hear? I hear you perfectly.
Well, who is our next guest?
Our next guest is Chau Truong. He is a producer. Is he on right now?
Paul is calling him, but his picture is on the on our website.
What's taking Paul so long? Doesn't he know how to dial a number?
I don't know. Paul, do we have our guest ready? Yes.
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, he's here. Okay.
All right. Anyway, let me read from the dictionary what a producer is. It says right here, it's someone that produces, a person who supervises or finances a play, a movie, or radio or television program. But that's just a simple description. He does a lot more than that. He starts off with an idea or premise that maybe came from a book, or maybe it was just an original idea. That has to be translated into a script. Then he has to find financing, and then the people that are going to play in it. He has to get a director, cinematographer, all of the other experts, such as scenic designers, clothing people, musicians, orchestration, and everything else. And then after that, he has to hope and pray. He has to deal with the constant BS that is from within and from without. And if he's lucky, he'll get everything done within budget. And then he first has to go out and find his distributors, and then hopefully selling up tickets so that he could break even, and maybe, if he's lucky, show a profit.
My next question for Chau is, why?
why did I write it?
Now, why do you want to open yourself to such...
Why are you doing this?
Why am I doing this? Because I think that everyone has a story they could tell. And I hope that when I write a story, it resonates with the audience. I did not write it for the few experts that, that will like it or not. If it resonates with the audience and if they felt like if they were in a certain situation, they would do the same thing. I hope the rhetoric, the dialogues that I put in the script would resonate with the audience, make them feel something, So, and I'm hoping that, if I, as a nobody, could pursue and chase after a dream and make it come true, then anybody out there can do it.
What is your script about?
My script is about love. It's about love that even death cannot defeat it. It's a story about people. I want people to believe in true love again and again and again. I think that everybody wants to be loved, and that's it. It's about love.
Tell us a little bit about your background. Chau, tell us about your background. Where were you from? How old are you? How did you get started in film? Our listeners would like to know that, because some of them may be out there wanting to do what you are doing.
Well, I am Vietnamese. It's very hard to be an artist in the Vietnamese culture because it's an abstract. It's an abstract, and you don't make money until you're famous. And when I started to write, I got into a fight at the club, and they threw me in jail, and I was reading, because all you could do when you're in jail is that you exercise and you eat, and everything is regimented. Then I was bored, so I began reading, and all the things I was reading, it was so bad. It wasn't relatable. So I said I could write something better. When I wrote it, it was like maybe 20 years ago. Because, you cannot write anything that you haven't experienced it because it's not real and it's not raw enough.
So you didn't, you're too young to remember the war.
I am 47.
You're 47, because I think the pullout was...
1975.
75.
Yes. I was born in 68.
You're born in 68. Okay, so you have... Do you have memories of the action there?
Well, not really.
Oh.
That's why I got interested in writing stories, because I hear the elders and the older people that has been through it, that had endured the hardship and the bloody fighting. They tell me stories, and so I listen. I am a very good listener.
Right. Is your story set in Vietnam?
No. It's set in the U.S. of A. It's set in Florida. It's about an interracial couple that moves into this neighborhood, right? And usually when they think that when a minority moves into the neighborhood, it lowers the property value down. So, so it's a conspiracy against that. Is to stop stereotyping, because then when the couple moves in, their daughter gets raped by the captain of the football team, and two knives fly out of the air, a butter knife and a butcher knife. The butter knife shoots straight into his heart, and the butcher knife, it spins around like a tomahawk, and it lands right between his legs, splitting his balls, and it's splattered on the wood, on the wall. It never, it never drips downward.
What is the interracial couple? Asian and?
No, it's black and white. It's either a black man and a white wife, or a white husband and a black wife.
Well, it's funny that they had one of the African-American comedians used to say, I don't see how property value goes down because this couple pay twice as much to get into the neighborhood as the house is worth.
Well, that's it. It's based on that premise, Then because there was like an Asian couple that lives there, and the wife, her name is Cassandra Cass. So she ended up being raped after she was murdered.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why she was haunting the place, because the husband is a neurosurgeon and the wife is a teacher.
Uh-huh.
And the wife believes in the abstract, and the husband, believes in, the concrete explanation.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is, because a butter knife is so dull, you cannot stab into a jock, especially a jock on the football team,
Yes.
Chau, how far along are you in this project?
Well, we got a lot of believers here. I have a great composer that won like a lot of awards named Ryan Richko. He composed the music for it. And I have Karen Mattingly. She did like a lot of big movies. She's the script supervisor, and I have a great lawyer. I have a great entertainment lawyer, Mark Steinbeck. And I got a lot of people that believed in it. We haven't made any money, but we're just trying to get the press and trying to market it out to the people. And we got like a lot of positive review.
Is it a suspense story, like a police story, whodunit, or a mystery?
It's like it's a Sixth Sense suspense with a ghost-like love story.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, it's a horror romance.
Uh-huh. Is there any reason you didn't use let's say, a Vietnamese character or another Asian character?
Well, there's a Vietnamese character, but it's way in the end because we got to make a movie relatable. It's universal, so it has a diverse cast to it.
Because I know a lot of the times, I lived through the Vietnamese War, and there was a lot of American GIs that married Vietnamese women and took them home, and who had difficulty, settling down afterwards.
Chau, are you going to film this in Florida?
Well, I'm going to film it wherever I get the money.
Okay, now have you applied for the different states give you different kinds of tax breaks or even credits if you film in their particular state. Some of them reimbursing you up to 1/3 of your production costs. Have you looked into that?
Yes, I have looked into that, and a lot of the movies can film in Atlanta. And I often ask myself, if I'm from Florida, I would like to revitalize the economy in Florida, not make Atlanta rich, And take they try and take the movie industry away from L.A. and Hollywood because they have a lot of tax incentives.
Okay, Chau, could you hold on? We're up to our break, and we'll be back to you to end the show with. You're listening to CRNTalk.com, The View from Over Here with Stan Weisleder and me, Malcolm Burman. And hold on, and we'll be right back and find out how to make a movie.
The Trees, an epic novel by Stan Weisleder, told in the Godfather fashion, with 2/3 of the book taking place in Las Vegas and describing the transition from the mob to Howard Hughes to corporate America. This book is Las Vegas. Jim Santangelo from the International Brotherhood of Teamsters said, "I didn't grow up in New York or Las Vegas. I grew up in Jersey City, but I know everyone in this book. I loved it." Hal Rothbart, publisher, says, "I wish I had written it." The Trees by Stan Weisleder.
Are you married? Do you and your husband both have term life insurance? If you both don't, you should. You have a lot to protect. Call now, get a free quote for your husband, and while you're at it, get a quote for yourself too, because you both need term life insurance. Call now. 800-915-9542, 800-915-9542, 800-915-9542. Rates are at all-time lows. We'll shop over 30 top-rated companies to get you the best possible rates. Term life insurance. It's the perfect way to protect the quality of your family's lifestyle. You and your husband both need term life insurance, so Call now for a free quote for the both of you. 800-915-9542. 800-915-9542. 800-915-9542.
You order a glass of your favorite Cabernet, fresh asparagus, hollandaise on the side, a filet, medium rare. You unfurl your napkin with a flair, close your eyes, and prepare to listen. Ah, there it is. The sweet music you long to hear. The sizzle. The sizzle of a Ruth's Chris steak.
The most magnificent corn-fed prime beef, broiled to perfection at 1800 degrees. Some call it a sizzle. We call it an anthem.
As the waiter approaches, you think, is this one mine or that one?
Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Like Ruth always said, life's too short to eat anywhere else.
Make a reservation online at ruthschris.com or by calling 800-544-0808.
Every day is Save the Earth Day, and each of us has a part to play. For more information and how you can do your part to save the Earth, contact us at SaveTheWorld.net. That's SaveTheWorld.net.
That's your cue, Stan.
My cue.
Your cue.
Back. This is Stan Weisleder on The View from Over Here, together with Malcolm Burman.
And who do we have on the line?
We have Chau Truong, a movie producer. This is his first movie, so he is up against all kinds of odds, but he is determined to see this through.
Chau, if we happen to have somebody listening to the show that has scads of money and wants to back a film, how do they contact you?
Well, they could contact me by my email. My email is my whole name, is CHAUVANTRUONG .NAISA, NAISA, Mafia, MAFIA, @gmail.com.
Mafia?
Or they can contact me through my attorney, Mark Steinberg. His phone number is 305-671-0015.
Yeah, that might be easier.
Yeah. What's the Mafia in the email address?
Well, NAISA is just Asian spelled backwards. It's about, it's about a guy that couldn't find love inside his real family, so he decides to go and get a family on the street to get the love that he wants and desperately needs. So he forms a family of his own called the NAISA Mafia.
Well, just a little curiosity about your background. You say you were in jail, and that's where you took up a lot of reading and writing.
Yes.
What were you in jail for?
I was fighting at the club.
Fighting at the club?
Yeah, because my friend, he was like talking to this girl and this guy, because he was like a small guy, and this guy, he was like really big. He was like a hulking guy, and so he was, he was kind of jealous that his girlfriend was talking to another guy, and I just took a bottle of beer and I knocked him on the head with it because, he was going to pound my friend to death.
How big are you physically?
I am 5'8", around 165 pounds. But I was really in good shape. I could fight.
I know it's a typical question you ask someone from Asia. Do you know any martial arts?
Well, I think the only kind of things you need is a killer instinct. You got to keep pounding and you don't give up. Even if you lose a fight to somebody bigger, they will respect you. You can't just run away and cower to them.
Good attitude. And I know from street fights in New York, You just pick up anything that's handy, like a bottle of beer or a trash can or whatever.
No, because the guy was like 2-3 times bigger than he is. It was just not fair, and it's not his. It's not my friend's problem that he can't control his girlfriend. He don't love him.
Anyway, Paul, I don't believe that. Was it 4.5 minutes went by? Okay, guys, I'm sorry. We're at the.
I guess it did. Yeah, I have.
You hear the music?
Yeah.
Chau, it's great talking to you. Good luck. If we could help you, let us know. You have our number.
Okay. Well, sounds good.
Okay, and thanks very much for being on the show, and good luck, Stan.
And wait a minute, when the movie opens up, we want passes
for the premiere.
You will have the red carpet.
The red
premiere.
carpet treatment. Good.
All right, that's what I like.
Okay, Stan, come back home. I miss you here.
Yeah, I'll see you when I'm done with my vacation.
2 weeks. And make sure the tape recorder works. I'd like to get some of those people over at the Sid Caesar tribute. And guys,
it will be working. In fact, I still haven't heard from them. They may even let me in with a camera.
Stan, say goodbye. You're listening to The View from Over Here, and we're out.
The View from Over Here is a co-production of Infinity X and TBG International. For further information, contact Malcolm Burman at 818-687-2784. That's 818-687-2784.
CRN Digital Talk Radio prides itself on being the station of every situation. And you can listen to us on nearly any platform and device. Download to your iPhone, Android, and BlackBerry episodes of What's Cookin'. And take Master Sommelier Michael Jordan with you to the wine shop so he can help you pick out that perfect bottle of wine. Stream episodes of the Sonoma Wine Report through our CRN app, TuneIn Radio, Nobex, Stitcher, UTunes, or AHA Radio. And start planning that unforgettable weekend in the wine country. They're in your corner on iHeartRadio, iTunes, and many other apps. And of course, you can always listen live through your local cable TV provider, as well as on our website at crntalk.com. For more information on where to listen to these great shows, along with many others, log on to crntalk.com and create your own listening experience today.
The radio channel.
CRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. She's Ebola-free. Dallas nurse Amber Vinson discharged today from Emory University Hospital in Atlanta.
I'm so grateful to be well. And first and foremost, I want to thank God. I sincerely believe that with God, all things are possible.
Vinson contracted Ebola while treating Thomas Eric Duncan at Texas Health Presbyterian Hospital in Dallas. And New Jersey Governor Chris Christie remains convinced it's a good idea to quarantine for 21 days. Medical workers returning to the U.S. after caring for Ebola patients in West Africa.
Here's the bottom line as governor.